Welcome, luxury enthusiasts, to the Luxury Travelers Podcast, hosted by Rodney George. The ultimate passport to opulent destinations, extravagant experiences, and unparalleled indulgence. Whether one is a seasoned jet setter or daydreaming of the next lavish getaway, the Luxury Travelers Podcast has it all covered. So buckle up and prepare for a journey into the lap of luxury. Now, your host.
Good morning. We have a really special guest with us here this morning, and I'm so excited. I love what this guy does. I love what his company does, and by the end of this brief podcast, you're going to love it too. My special guest today is Jesse Terranova, and Jesse is the business development manager for a company called TCS World Travel. That's not a household name yet, but TCS World Travel has some of the most incredible journeys around the world. And Jesse's here to talk to us about all of those things today. So welcome to the show, Jesse.
Hey, Rodney, it's good to be here. It's good to connect again.
Great to have you. TCS is not an ordinary travel company, are they?
No, certainly not. Far from it, actually.
Tell us a little bit about what sets you guys apart as far as, I know you guys use the word unparalleled a lot. So what is unparalleled about what the TCS offering is?
Yeah, so a brief overview of TCS World Travel. As you mentioned and alluded to, it's really not a household name. TCS has been around for well over 30 years, and we are the pioneer in global jet travel. So we operate on two brand new Airbus A321 Jets, exclusive 52 seats on these, and we have between 20 and 25 different trips every year. So we're operating on these incredible aircrafts and really putting together once-in-a-lifetime trips, all-inclusive. You know, again, what sets us apart are our jets and our just service, our commitment to excellence. And once we dive into some of these journeys and how easy we make it for people to get to some of these hard-to-reach destinations, you'll see why there's so much value there.
I would have to classify what you guys do. You guys are a bona fide bragging rights company. When you come back from a TCS World trip, you've got bragging rights within your sphere of influence at your country club, your yacht club, wherever it is that you hang out. You're going to have some serious bragging rights when you come home from a TCS vacation.
Absolutely. And, you know, we were there together at that event a few weeks ago where we had actually two couples come back from an around the world journey. That was special to hear their testimonials, their experience. That was amazing.
Well, especially since they had just returned. I mean, I don't even think their feet were touching the floor yet.
Agreed, yeah. And that was the around the world journey in 24 days. So that hits 11 of the most iconic destinations, almost on every continent, flying direct to these destinations, staying in a 5-star property every night, having a team of about 16 crew with you at all times throughout your jet journey on the ground. It's special, Rodney.
Yeah, it's very special for sure. Can you tell our listeners what really sets you guys up and what is the inspiration behind TCS World Travel and thus what sets you apart from all the other travel companies out there? I
think our logistical capabilities is important to begin with. So, you know, our company started, again, well over 30 years ago by a gentleman, TC Schwartz. That is where the TCS comes from originally. Now it stands for Travel Connect Share. But it was really built on bringing the intrepid travelers to these really hard to reach destinations around the world. And so he started doing that by private jet. And really through the years, I think what sets TCS apart, and again, back to that not a household name, through my lens, I really believe that TCS has just been a wonderful white label, while of course having their own extraordinary journeys, you know, between 15 to 20 just on the TCS jet. We also operate with incredible partners. We operated the National Geographic private jet program for almost 17 years before Disney bought them. We operate Smithsonian Journeys and their private jet program. We partner with Kalos Golf to put together a wonderful around the world golf journey, which we can dive into as well. Yeah. But the most I guess recognizable name is the Four Seasons private jet experience. So we were staying primarily at Four Seasons properties on our jet trips through the decades. And so Four Seasons approached TCS want to say back in 2014, 2015, so about 10 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And so we put together 8 to 10 trips on the Four Seasons private jet that we operate as well. So just so much in terms of a collaboration. I mean, we have 500 people touching each and every trip. So what goes into this? From a logistical standpoint, we have an advanced team down in each destination before the jet lands, right? So imagine, taking off from, let's say, the Serengeti and landing in Egypt, because that's something that we do, waking up in the morning and getting these wonderful sights. We have a team down there in Egypt a week prior to the jet landing from the Serengeti to just iron out all the details and make sure everything is running smoothly. So, I think you heard those clients come back and just speak about, and that gentleman was in like logistics globally, and he was pretty impressed, if you recall. So
he was a former military officer in, I believe, the Air Force, and so he knew some stuff about logistics.
That's right.
So, what kind of traveler is best suited for what you guys do, Jesse?
So, I'd say for our around the world journeys. Our other journeys that are, focus on maybe one geographical region. We have a best of Africa. We have a best of South America. We're just going to Asia for 2 to 3 weeks. I'd say that the traveler who's able to do that has the financial resources, but of course also has the time. So typically we say, we get individuals in their 30s and 40s, but for the most part, between 50 to 70 years of age, 55 to 75 in that demographic. When we think of retirements, we think of big accolades, selling business ventures, anniversaries, things like that. And somebody who just wants to get out there and go and see the world in a different and unique way. I mean, this isn't for everybody. Being in each destination 3 to 4 days, getting up and going to each destination. We do have a luggage handler, so, you're not going to touch your luggage, not one time. I'm not even going to lift a finger throughout the experience. We can get into that momentarily in terms of the crew. But yeah, I think it's special to see the folks that come on here and how they're transformed subsequent to their journey.
Well, I think I know the answer to this next question, but just a ballpark number. What percentage of your clients come back and repeat and do another world voyage of some kind?
It's trending towards half, Rodney. So I think we're about 45% client retention rate, repeat rate. And so once somebody comes on an around the world journey, which is our flagship, we offer between 4 to 5 of our around the world journey trips and itineraries every year. After going on that, they're intrigued by the concept. Maybe they'll put together a private custom travel experience with one of our wonderful team members on a smaller jet for a shorter duration. But typically they'll go on another trip, as I mentioned, maybe concentrated on one geographical region like Best of Africa or a trip to New Zealand and Australia.
Let's drill a little bit deeper on what TCS does to make my clients, our clients, whoever's clients, feel comfortable and well taken care of throughout their journey. Just give us an idea of what happens the moment they step onto the tarmac and start up the steps to that beautiful Airbus.
Yeah, if I may, I'd love to start with even before that. So we have a wonderful guest services manager. And so your clients, the people listening to this wonderful podcast, they're going to be linked up with their own personal guest services manager who's going to really remove the pain points of international travel for them. That's what TCS is all about, is taking away those layovers, taking away those inconveniences that most of us encounter when we're traveling internationally. And so what happens is we take care of visas, we take care of packing lists, we take care of pre and post upgrades. We provide between 8 to 10 different options that in terms of activities and experiences and tours on the ground in each destination. So we kind of go through your interest, what you like, your dislikes. We pretty much create like a framework of what your itinerary is going to look like. It's very customizable. And then, when, you arrive in each amazing destination, we have a wonderful jet team to welcome you. So we have a big team. We have 6 flight attendants. We have 3 pilots. We have
6 flight attendants for how many passengers?
52. You can see that you can figure the ratio out for
That's
yourself.
a nice ratio.
You ain't kidding. And that's really just for, if there's any flight attendants out there listening, it's just to be able to have everybody have a shift on and off properly as we're traveling with different time zones and everything, but also to provide extra service to you. And moving on here, we have a private chef who's putting out, you should really see the size of the galley on this jet. And he's putting out Michelin-star-type meals. We get very good feedback. We can really accommodate any dietary restrictions. We have a journey physician as well, Rodney, on the jet. We partner with Boston MD, so we have a doctor traveling with us. And as I mentioned, we worked with Nat Geo for almost 2 decades. So we have expert lecturers and world-renowned guides on the jet. So you can tune into your iPad before touching down in one of these more archaeological wonders of the world, like Petra or Egypt, kind of get an understanding of what you're about to encounter. And these are very enriching and educational experiences. And so if you want them to be, right, that's how we position ourselves as well. So much value there. And yeah, I mean, it's a 5-star property every night. We think very deliberately before we put these together. So we fly from east to west. We alleviate the jet lag. Again, no layovers. When we do have to fly into commercial airlines, we have a security detail on the ground shuttling us through. We fly into FBOs usually for the most part.
We landed our first port of call. What's the experience stepping off the plane?
So you're going to be shuttled to a private car taking right to the hotel. And the best part about this is when you arrive at the hotel, there's a little station on the side separate of the the concierge, the front desk, just for TCS World Travel guests. And you're given your room key right there, no wait, you head right up to your room. And typically we're arriving in each destination late morning, early afternoon. So a lot of the time you're going right out for an adventure, right out for your touring for the day.
So I'm not getting on a motor coach with my 52 best friends. I'm getting in a private car to the 5-star hotel. I like that.
That's right.
I like that.
That's right.
For somebody that's never done a luxury expedition trip such as this is just not a cut above. It is a quantum leap above what most people experience when they travel today. Even those people that still manage to find a seat in first class. This is a totally different experience than most people have ever not only had, but even dreamed of.
Yeah, this is beyond first class. And I think, stepping on the brand new Airbus A321 is just a special experience in and of itself. I mean, it's a hotel in the sky. It's a home away from home. I saw our guest refer to it as the mothership. It's the place where it's the place that we transport our guests, right? How we're able to put together these incredible, iconic itineraries because of the jet. So I'd love to start there because I think, and Rodney, you travel just as much as anybody else. Commercially, these are sitting 240 people. So to have them custom fit 52 seats, all first class, lie flat, it really is a special experience. We just had a jet viewing for travel advisors out in Seattle. And I mean, just to see everyone's faces, we got a couple bookings from that right away, which is just incredible as people, consumers are seeing the jet through social media, through some of the emails that our advisors are sending out to their clients. And they're just amazed. They're like, I need to experience that. And if you have the time to do it, why not? I mean, it's one of the best ways to travel the world. It doesn't get any more luxurious. And I'm a little biased, so don't go by me, but you kind of said it yourself in terms of kind of taking it to that next level. I think what's interesting too, you're the king of cruises. And so when we have folks who are doing around the world cruises, this is kind of the next best thing. The next kind of, it's a similar style of travel, a couple of days in each destination, but doing it in less time and in the air as opposed to on the sea.
So this is an around the world cruise on steroids for those people that don't have 160 or 180 days.
That's right. That's right. It's going to cost you that 160, 180, but it's going to be a special. It's going to be memorable. I think what's coming up for me now as we're talking through this at one of your events earlier this year, was presenting. Maybe there was 30, 40 of your clients there. Nice experience. And I had a couple raise their hand at the end and stand up and say, we went on a trip 12 years ago. And just to see how their faces lit up, how they spoke about their experience with TCS World Travel over a decade ago, how vivid their memories were. And it's still one of their top, most transformative travel experiences. And so I thought that was really special too.
They're trying to figure out, even as we speak, what their next venture is. They said, we got to get back and do that again before we get too old that we can't do it. So yeah, I expect them to call me any day now, telling me which of the fabulous trips you guys have that they want to do. You touched on a hot button for me and for a lot of our clients, being as we're headquartered down here in Naples, Florida, and that was the golf around the world trip. So can you elaborate on that just a little bit?
That's correct. It's departing at the end of November. I believe it's November 22nd. Our around the world journey departs from either Orlando or Miami, usually Orlando. So you would just, go to Orlando. Rodney can help you with the transfer there, and off you go. Some of our other trips begin and end in different destinations, depending on where the itinerary is. So for example, our Kalos trip is really just an extraordinary opportunity to explore some golf courses out in Africa, all the way up to Egypt. Just a wonderful itinerary. And that one actually departs from Rome. So you'd be responsible for getting to and home from Rome on the the front and back end of that. But that experience has about 3 to 4 days in each destination, playing at some of the most world-class, sought after golf courses. And it's going to be $158,000 per person. But say you have, a spouse who doesn't want to necessarily play golf, husband or wife, we offer $152,000 for touring. And we can put that itinerary in the show notes here for you to dive more into that. But that's a really special trip, and it's almost sold out in November.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that an annual trip?
We're trying to at least do 2 a year moving forward. We do have another one confirmed in 2025, probably around the same time, November, and then we have one in the works potentially for the following year. But as of now, we have the one at the end of this year confirmed, and we do have a few spots left.
So golfers, pay attention. It's almost sold out. And talk about bragging rights at your club. The fact that you traveled around the world in how many days?
That's 22 days playing in courses in Aqaba, seeing Petra, going to South Africa, ending in Egypt. I mean, it's spectacular.
That's bragging rights that are going to be hard for anybody to outdo you. So if you had a special holiday coming up, a major anniversary, a major birthday, looking for something to get that spouse or parent or child that has literally everything going for them, I can see this really falls neatly into a very special niche there that a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to do yet. Do you do a lot of special holidays, special celebration kind of trips?
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of anniversaries, birthdays, a lot of retirements. I think what's important to note too, and I'll just come out and say this really is not an impulse buy, Rodney, as you know. Sometimes sometimes we'll have our solo travelers, who are able to hop on last minute. And that's wonderful. We only have a 10% solo supplement, which is great for the industry. It's something to take advantage of for sure. But back to your point, I think, it depends on where someone is in their career, in their life. But we already have some of 2026 itineraries being released. So this is something that's planned out, well in advance, almost 6 months on average, right? So take a look at 2025 journeys now and just start thinking about it. I think the interesting thing too is I'd imagine a good portion of the viewers here probably have never even heard of this, don't even know it exists. So right. I think once you can conceptually kind of see and put the pieces together, I mean, this is a quick podcast here, but again, dive into more about what you can expect to encounter. We have wonderful videos on our website, and you can kind of just feel and get the sense of what it's like to be on the jet. But yeah, it's something that you definitely want to plan in advance for the future.
Well, the clients that we have, that you referenced a little bit earlier, they said in all their years of travel, and these people have traveled extensively, it's almost impossible for me to come up with a new destination for them because they've literally been everywhere. But they said beyond a shadow of a doubt, they had never experienced such a high level of excellence from the very beginning of the planning of the trip to all the various destinations, the planes, the hotels, the cars. They said we've never done anything that even came close to what you guys offer. So for that client that's looking for that next step up in the world of travel, when they do step up and they get to the top of the step and they look across, they're going to find TCS.
Yeah, and you spoke to some of the levels of exclusivity that we provide. Just a few examples, really exciting touring options and just insider access we provide. I mean, when we go to India, it's a place that some people have kind of already been to, the Taj Mahal, or they've done some of these, top destinations they've already been. But I think going with TCS is a completely different experience. When we travel to India, we fly into the Agra military base. We do a day trip to the Taj Mahal, and that night we're already in Jaipur. So in and out, I mean, you cannot experience that elsewhere. When we fly from Peru to Easter Island, we do it directly. So, look at how much time we're saving. We privatize Angkor Wat. It's the largest religious stone structure, temple in the world. And we privatize that just for our guests one evening when we're in Siem Reap, Cambodia. And that's just an extraordinary experience there. So just some examples of some of the things that we can put together. And it truly is second to none and extremely memorable for our guests.
Well, it's all about creating memories. I had a guest on here recently, and he talked about a client of his that was the CEO of a major global beverage company, was once quoted as saying that dreams are better than memories. And obviously he knew a lot about the world of beverages, but he didn't know much about the difference in dreams and memories. Yes, we all have to have dreams, but the memories that you create, these people are still talking about 15 years after they did your trip. They're still talking about the memories of that trip. Now expand that and say, what if you could take your adult children and hey, you just sold your business or whatever, and you take your adult children and your older grandchildren on this trip around the world. I promise for generations they'll be talking about the trip that Grandpa took us on the year that he retired.
Yeah, the common through line I continuously hear is once in a lifetime.
Hopefully they don't stop at once, Jesse.
Well, hopefully with you, something that you shared with me, I love your audience now. I think it was so special. You take your family, I think it was every 5 years you said, on vacation. Is that what you shared with me?
Every 2 or 3 years, depending on the cost of the vacation that we've planned. Yeah.
Even better. Wow. That stuck with me. And so I think in terms of memories, that's so special. So we'll see you with your family on a TCS trip in 2 years.
that would be an awesome place for them to experience the ultimate. Other than giving us a call, which is obviously the most desirable way to find out more about TCS vacations, where can the listeners go to learn more about TCS?
So our website, tcsworldtravel.com. On there, you can browse around yourself and look at all of our extraordinary upcoming journeys. You can learn more about the history of TCS. You can learn more about, as I mentioned again, some of those incredible testimonial videos of really, seeing these destinations come alive, seeing the reactions of some of the people's faces in these videos. I mean, you're going to be blown away when you take a look at that. So, and of course, we have a video on the Airbus A321 that I mentioned that really does set TCS apart from other individuals who are operating similar journeys in the marketplace.
Yeah, what you guys have done with these airplanes that normally carry, what'd you say, 200 and something people, and you've got it down to 52.
Yeah.
Now you
Yeah.
did throw in a galley and some other things, but still, you've got a lot of geography that's solely yours on this flight, including the most posh lay flat seats I've ever seen.
Yeah, we have to get you down for a jet viewing in Florida soon, Rodney, so you can experience the jet for yourself.
Would love to do that. Would love to do that. Well, Jesse, as our time together comes to a close, I want to thank you so much for taking time, because I know you don't let any grass grow under your feet, professionally or in the real world. I know you do a lot of triathlons and that kind of thing, which I have nothing but respect for you. I just have to warn you, your knees are going to give out someday. So make sure you've got an alternate or a plan B there. But we thank you so much for being with us today. And as my old buddy, Dr. Philip Randall, said to me so many years ago, back in the days when I was in another business, totally another industry, he said, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. That's it for now. Jesse, thank you for being here. And it's always great to see you. And I love what you're doing, buddy.
Well said, Rodney. It's always a pleasure, and we'll connect again soon. Take care. Thanks again.
I look forward to it.
Thanks for joining us on the Luxury Travelers Podcast. For more information, head on over to luxurytravelerspodcast.com to connect with our team or leave us a message. Until next time, safe travels and savor the extraordinary.